So I could just restart it already.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in today, Lisa. How have you been doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been rough. It's getting busy, you know.
Okay, so we're a few sessions in now,
Mhm.
so I just wanted to know, is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything that's been bothering you from previous weeks?
I mean, I guess right now it's kind of like my marriage is getting a little stressful. Within the last few weeks, it's just kind of been building up financially that we're struggling, and that was expected, and we kind of came into things knowing that that could happen. Um, I didn't think that it was going to affect us. Um, for me, I don't think it affects me, but it's affecting my husband, and so I think that's just adding more stress to my situation in general, which is a little frustrating.
So bringing it back to what you just said, you said that it doesn't affect you, but it affects your husband. Now, I know we've talked about your family and the past struggles financially that you saw your parents go through. Do you think you are more able to understand and not stress as much because you saw your parents going through it?
I mean, yeah, I think that definitely was a factor. I mean, money was tight growing up, and my brothers and I would try any way that we could to help mom and dad out. And um, I mean, it wasn't easy. And coming home after school, mom and dad weren't there, and we knew what they were working and stuff like that. And so um, I know how that feels, and I know my husband's upbringing was similar, maybe not the exact same, but we're not foreign to the concept of having to work hard for what we have. I guess I thought that we would be strong through it all, and I'm remaining strong, or at least I like to think I am, but it's disheartening to see him get discouraged the way he is.
So you said it's disheartening. Now, what exactly makes you feel that way? Makes you have that thought?
He gets angry, and the stress shows, and he takes it out on me, and we're both going through the same thing. We both are doing what we can, and I wish the stress was something that he could cope with a little better, because I mean, we'll get through it. Maybe that's too optimistic of me, but I mean, I don't see us changing our situation anytime soon. I mean, I mentioned last week, we're expecting our first child, so this isn't going to change, and if anything, it's going to get a little more complicated. And so I need him to be there for me, and then for our child.
So I guess let's focus on, because you said, your parents went through it when you were growing up. Have you tried maybe looking to your parents or his parents for some advice, or?
I see my mom struggling with just her situation, living by herself now. And my dad, I don't have a whole lot of contact with him. I know he's working as much as he can just to stay afloat as well. And so for me, I don't want to trouble them with my troubles. And I always told myself that I was going to do better than my parents did. And not to say that they didn't try, but I think there are outside circumstances that affect it and make it so that you really, no matter how hard you try, you can only do so much. So I don't really want to go to them. I saw what they went through. They didn't end up working in their relationship, and no, I don't know how much good advice they could provide for us.
So you say you're trying really hard to, make it through this tough situation right now. Do you feel like your husband is putting in the same effort? Have you guys talked about, let's try to do this differently?
I feel like he gives up easier. I want to talk things out. I want to sit down and discuss, how can we make this better? How can we make it easier? And I get it. He works a lot, so he's tired when he comes home, and he doesn't want to talk about it or whatever. But I can't be the only one talking about it. I don't want to be the only one talking about it. So maybe it's just this time period, and maybe give it a little bit, and he'll be fine. I can't predict that, and that's frustrating too. Is the unknown that's kind of waiting for us.
Okay, so tell me more about the unknown. What do you mean?
I mean, we're okay right now. We know how to cut corners. We know how to budget. We know how to make what we have work. Before that was just for the two of us. In not too long of time, there will be a third member of our family, and that's going to change things, and that's going to change the amount of work that we can be doing, and that's going to change the amount of money that we're using. And I think that in its own is scary enough. Just welcoming a child, being there for a child, and now having to worry financially like we already are. It's just kind of a scary thing to think about. I don't know. I don't know if that really explains it very well, but I'm optimistic and I'm trying to be positive about what's coming, even though it does freak me out to not know what's coming. He, on the other hand, is just kind of done. Just doesn't care. Or doesn't express that.
Right, and I understand, and you were saying earlier, you know, if that makes sense, it makes complete sense, I understand. Would you say, now you mentioned he keeps saying that he's done and he just doesn't know what else to do at this point. Would you say that this is the only stressor you guys are currently having in your marriage? Do you think, like, you know, like you mentioned, your parents are currently not together. Do you ever worry that it's going to get to that point with you two, especially considering now that you are going to be having a third member?
I don't know if this is naive of me to think about it. Divorce isn't an option. I mean, I wouldn't have married someone if I thought I was just going to be divorced anyway. I don't know many people that go into marriage thinking, oh, we're going to divorce in a few years. But that's not in my plan. And I would like to think that's not in his. And I remember my mom telling me that my dad wanted a divorce because it was just going to make things easier. Did it make things easier? No. You know, and you know, my mom would make the joke, you know, we can't afford to be divorced. So even if that was the way to go, we can't do that. You know, and not to make light of it, but when he says he's done, I think he just means he's tired. He's exhausted. It's exhausting trying to just make sure every plate is spinning at the right time, and I completely understand that. But in regards to working, he's doing his part. In regards to coming home and supporting me, he's doing his part. But we need to be able to plan a little better and be able to talk about things. And in regards to talking about things or talking about what's bothering him, he's not good at that. And that's challenging.
So I know you said that it's kind of, you guys cut corners and it's kind of like you're spinning around. Can you clarify that?
Well, I mean, think about budgeting. Like, you know, you shop intelligently, or you know, we don't need this, so we're not going to spend our money on that. You know, so we save up, we pinch our pennies, and I mean, we've suffered no harm from living simply. And I mentioned budgeting along with the cutting corners. You know, like if we don't need it, we don't get it. That sort of thing. And I think that's how many people try to live anyway. So I guess what might be concerning him now is as many penny pinching we can do on things, there's still that third mouth we have to do. And that changes the dynamic drastically.
And that makes total sense. I understand where you're coming from and where he's coming from as well. I know we have previously talked about the program Fostering Hope. Have you guys been going? Have you been going? How's that working out for you?
I haven't gone. I know he hasn't gone. It doesn't work for him time-wise. I feel like we're both working. We have the tools that we need to make things work, and I think more so we need help, or I need help with how to work with him on the emotional side of things, more so than the logistics of things.
Okay, so I just want you to remember, you know, that is a resource that you guys can use if it ever comes to the point where you're like, okay, what do we do next?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course, yeah, of course. And I know that we haven't talked about it as much, but have you ever thought maybe bringing your husband into counseling so we can kind of, no, he's not into that.
I don't know if he would want that. I mean, I could always ask him, but I don't know if he would appreciate the gesture.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out.
No, it's very possible, and maybe it could help. I don't know. I think for me, what I want is just kind of an outlet to kind of talk, and it's beneficial coming to you because I get to share how I'm feeling. And it does make me think a little more, so when I go home, I can alter the way that I maybe communicate something to him or see it in a different life, which I think is beneficial in baby steps. So,
Well, I'm happy to hear that our sessions are, helping you out and that it's an outlet. And excuse me, I just wanted, let's reflect back or backtrack a little bit. Your childhood, how was that like? Your relationship with your parents, financial struggles were starting to develop.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I mean, it was hard. We understood enough to know, like, come home from school, mom and dad are going to be there. They're working and stuff like that. And I remember they would take shifts almost of who could be there and who could be supporting whatever one of us had something going on that night or whatever the case may be. I thought we were fine as a cohesive family. I thought we got along well and we did okay. And I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to, the little things that we did have, I guess. It wasn't until I got older that I started seeing the distress of my parents and the fact that it just really wasn't working for them anymore. And I don't know if that was an exhaustion sort of thing or if they really did think that it was going to be easier to be apart, why they chose to. They didn't really tell us why they split. So yeah, I mean, no, I understand that sometimes divorce has to happen, for the people involved, and if that's a better outcome for them, then that makes sense. But like I said, no disrespect with my comment earlier, but that's not what I want. So I don't really mirror that to my life. I think growing up in the situation that I was in has definitely kind of matured me a little bit to handle what I'm in now and the times that we're in now. Because think about it, everyone struggles a little bit financially, and some more than others. But I think it's just a way of being able to handle that.
So you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do. You said that growing up, you feel like it's what you went through has helped you where you're at now. Do you feel like you ever, had to grow up too fast? Or remind me again, are you the oldest sibling?
No, I have two older brothers.
You have two older brothers. So do you ever feel like, even though you have two older brothers, do you ever feel like you had to be the parent figure?
I mean, I was always kind of like, I'd come home, do my homework, sit at the table, like do what I was supposed to do. Like my brothers did their own thing, but I mean, I always was responsible, I guess. I didn't feel like I was ever lacking a parent. I have bossy tendencies, so it was easy for me to boss my brothers around, even though they didn't need it. But no, I think we all were able to stand on our own, and given the circumstances, that was kind of necessary.
So you would say, based off of that and based off of what you told me about your childhood, it's kind of shaped you into like a strong human being that you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call myself strong.
Oh,
but
trust, you're very strong.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, it definitely has made me think things through differently and be a little more aware of my situation.
When you say aware, what is that?
Just knowing that, stuff happens and, this is the hand that I was dealt at this time and ways to kind of work with it. And like I said, we're both employed, which speaks a lot, and we appreciate that. And I think we're just grateful for what we do have rather than looking at what we don't necessarily get.
Now you said, remind me again what your job is. You're both employed, so what exactly is your job?
I am a receptionist at a medical clinic here in town. Not my dream job, but I mean, like I said, I have a job, so.
That's a great outlook to have.
Yeah.
I guess. Now, again, if you ever feel that I'm kind of not getting the gist of what you're trying to say, just tell me. I guess, do you ever have any regrets in life?
It would have been nice to go to school and get a degree. I'd say it like someone punished me or something like that. No, it wasn't in the cards for that. And I couldn't imagine putting that responsibility on my parents or myself even, to be able to fund that. And my older brothers, they both have children, and kind of an odd family situation, so they took a non-traditional path as well. So just I think my mom felt that once the grandkids came into play, that she was responsible for that too. So it would have been nice to go to school, maybe have a little more option to do something, but like I said, I have a job, so.
So now back to, your baby's coming soon. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Now, your relationship with your mom, how was that? Do you think that if you and your husband ever were really struggling, that she would help out with the kid? Like how are you and your mom right now?
We're good. She works a lot, so I don't really see her, and I feel kind of bad because I know that she doesn't really have her own place right now. She stays with a friend and stuff, and it's never really been approached for her to like stay with us, but I know that with her job, like she has to stay in a certain location, and we don't live that very close, so that would just kind of complicate things for her. I mean, I know if I needed her, she'd be there, and I hope she knows that like I'd be there for her, but I mean we're not in contact very often.
And how does that?
If you had asked me when I was younger if that would be the case, I would have said no, that we'd be super close. I think that she has her own stuff, and I have my own stuff, and so it's just the way it is.